You already know that's by design. First it was low, then it was high. Said it was one, then it took five. First got yours, then it got mine. Hey, love when I get to the point. Love when I rip this joint. Love when I get to the coins. Love when I hear this voice. This is a fact. Used to be mad. Extend all the fam, turn in the attic. Some is in jail, some in the caskets. Hey, first they want to put him in the bed. Then they want to put him in the grave. Then they want to put him in the slave. Then they want to put him in the dead. Then they want to bullet in his head. Hey, you ain't got ties, you ain't gonna ride. You ain't like mine, you ain't like mine. Rich big brother, I'm in my prime. Hey, so authentic, I ain't telling you lies. When it comes to business, I'm handling mine. Yeah, I'm a king face, million my time. Okay.
We are in the information age on Do You Know Your Value page. It's the content creator. I hit like Ryan Bader, back on the track with the facts and all that. One path is the way that I'm taking, getting closer to God in a tight situation. We will proceed to give you what you need. This will be the last and final installation of all the people responsible for the national debt. This is part 3. And like I said, this will be the last and final installation. This particular one, we're going to go to my page, and I did 5 recordings. It took 5 recordings for me to put together Credits and Their Bonds. So it's a playlist and it's 5 recordings. If you want, when you get a chance, you can go over there and look at that. But this is from Credits and Their Bonds. And let's begin here. It says, bond supporting credit authorizations. This bond is the debt side of the implied contract that resulted when your grandparents took all their gold to the Federal Reserve banks by May 1st, 1933. A bond is always evidence of a debt. It can be a liability to the debtor or an asset to the creditor. This bond is also the implied debt that resulted when you applied for a birth certificate for new entities, straw man, you requested that the state create when you had your babies. You put a description of your baby on the application. This tied the baby and the straw man together as long as the described baby man lived. When the man dies, the straw man is terminated by the state with a death certificate. There's no commercial entity without the man. A straw man is a front, third party, put up a name only to take part in a transaction, a nominal party to a transaction. One, John, who acts as the agent for another, real living soul, John, for the purposes of taking title to real property and executing whatever documents and instruments the principal, real living soul, John, may direct respecting the property. Person, all caps, John, who purchases property for another, real living soul, John, to conceal identity or real purchaser or to accomplish something that is otherwise not allowed. Can't mix public and private. And it is definitely an implied partnership. That's the type of partnership. It is an implied partnership. And this is a partnership where one which is not a real partnership, but which is recognized by the court as such because of the conduct of the parties. The defendant trusts you as trustee as the defendant's surety. In effect, the parties are stopped from denying the existence of a partnership. That is a dishonor. It said this bond is also the implied debt that resulted when you applied for a title to a car, a mortgage, or any other loan that resulted in collateral being registered with the state. You cannot be required to pledge your substance, but you can voluntarily pledge it to help the U.S. through its bankruptcy status. Pledge, and we went over pledge, what the meaning of pledge is, and pledge is also bailment. Bailment is delivery of goods or personal property by one person, straw man to another bailee, state, or U.S., in trust for the execution of a special object, exemption, upon or relation to such goods. If you do not volunteer, you may be given choices to make it easier for you to volunteer, but you must always do this voluntarily. You are not asked to give your substance, only to pledge it. While you keep possession of the substance, in return, you get the implied bond. The stolen receiver's social security number. The correlating private side number is the exemption number, same digits, just no dashes. As you can see, the public debt number will be 123 with the dash, 45-6789, like the social security number you've been using. And then the private exemption number will be those same numbers without dashes. numbers that you never knew about. So the straw man is the creation of the debtor corporation, so it's presumed to be an officer, agent, or employee of the debtor corporation. It must file tax returns. It must follow all the corporate rules and regulations, public laws, like you have been doing for the straw man as its agent. The man, on the other hand, is not a creation of the debtor corporation, but is the presumed representative of the straw man. The man is also the one who has the creditor side of the debt the U.S. owes. This is the national debt, at least part of it. Part of the national debt is owed to the people who pledge their substance in return for an exemption from paying debts. The U.S. runs on credit. It does not have its own credit. Everything is backed by the full faith and credit of the people. We have to have faith the U.S. will honor its debts, and we have to know how to use our credit. The straw man cannot use your credit on its own, but it can use it if you authorize it. Our authorization is backed by an implied contract and the resulting bond, the debt the U.S. has to the people. As long as the people are not acting like debtors and victims, they can use their credit. When the people start acting like debtors, straw men, they dishonor their own heritage and rights. Your private instruments are backed by the bond. The number on the bond is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for John Doe. I think this is a good place to stop. And I believe we have answered the question, but it's still do some more research on your own. I mean, I've answered the question for myself many times over, and there's a good document on my page, Credits and Their Bonds. You can go over there and look at it, go read through it, do your own research, your own due diligence, and you'll definitely find out that people in their public capacity are responsible for the national debt, because the people in the public capacity are, well, the public capacity is the straw man. People are acting like the straw man debtor. So this is what makes the people responsible for the national debt. And I believe that question was answered thoroughly. And I want to say peace and blessings. And don't today, well, wait a minute. There was a word out there wanted to look into, and that word was the word implied. The word implied. The word implied. We came across the word implied. I like to, on every recording, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over at least one word and get the definition. This is how I do my research. I make sure that I understand what words mean. So I definitely want to go over that and get the definition for the word implied. So let's do that real quick. Give me a second, folks. This is going to be real quick. So implied, suggested. It's an adjective, and it means suggested, but not directly expressed. Suggested, but not directly expressed. Implied, suggested, but not directly expressed. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me put this up for you guys. Get the spelling correct. Not directly expressed. Well, let's get a synonym for you guys as well. Give me a second. It's only going to take 1 second. Let's get a good synonym. Good synonym would be implicit. Implicit. And that would be the definition of the word implied. It's an adjective. The word implied means suggested but not directly expressed. Implicit. Hold up. Do we have a? We didn't. It's directly expressed. That will be in the past tense. So it's directly expressed. Let's save it again. And then show it again for you good folks. The definition of the word implied. And there we go, folks. That'll be our presentation. That's are the people responsible for the national debt, part 3. Are the people responsible for the national debt? Yes. Do your own research and you will come to find that this information is all true. Peace and blessings, and don't you dare go testing.